and run the simulation. There we go. Double click it. This is how the display of scope looks like. Now we are going to explore each and every tools in this scope. Now we will rearrange this scope and observe each and every details. So here our view is ready. This section is the display of scope and this section is our simulation model. First we'll start with the configuration properties. Over here you can see a tiny gearbox. Click it and you will have the configuration properties of scope. There are main 4 tabs: main, time, display, logging. We'll start with the main. In main, the first thing you'll find is open add simulation start. When you click it and press apply, this simulation display will automatically turn on once you start the simulation. What we'll do, we'll close it too, and we'll run it again. And you can see the window popped up automatically. If you unclick it, close it and run it again, the window did not pop up automatically. So you can understand the difference. The next is display the full path. If you click it, it will display the full path. Full path means we are running simulation for the 10 seconds. So it will show the full path of 10 seconds. The next is numbers of input ports. Here we are having only one port. If you want to observe the multiple signals in one scope, then you should increase the numbers of ports. Here we have one signal which is addition and the two signals which are our raw signal. So total we have 3 signals. So let us add 2 more numbers of input ports and make it 3. Okay. So right now we are having total 3 inputs, right? So what we'll do, by dragging you can increase the size of the scope. You can connect this signal to the scope by left clicking over here and dragging it up to the signal. Another way is, if you want to take a branch from here, then right click at this point, drag a branch, leave the right click, left click, drag it to the point. So this is another way through which you can take a branch out from any signal. And then finally we will have the final signal. We will just rearrange these things. Now we'll run it again and we'll observe all these 3 signals in scope display. So there we go. You can see all these 3 signals are displayed in the scope. Over here, the first question comes into your mind is, how should I identify that which of the signal is which in this output? From here you can add legends. Click on the show legends button and you will have a legend over here. So yellow is the sine wave, blue is sine wave 1, and the red one is add. So here this one is the sine wave, this one is the sine wave 1, and this is the output of add. So by observing these legends you will be able to identify the output. Now we'll jump back to our configuration property. So we have seen how to add numbers of input port. Now we'll go for the layout. When you click this layout button, a small window is popped up over here. Here, each of this block changes its color when you hover the mouse. This shows the matrix layout or arrangement of all these 3 graphs. This means a matrix of 3 cross 2 is placed in this figure, and you can place up to 6 figures in one graph. Just click over here and say OK. So you can observe that 3 rows and 2 columns, so total 6 figures you can occupy in this place. Let's click it again. Over here, when it's blue, it means this place is assigned to any particular graph. But when you shift over here, the gray color means there are no graphs to put in that place. So now I'll modify my layout. I'll just make it 3 cross 1 and apply OK. So this is how my 3 cross 1 layout looks like. Again we'll go back to configuration properties. The next is sample time, input processing. There are 2 options: column as channel, frame based, and element as channel, sample based. The next is maximize axis. What will happen when you change this parameter? It is off right now. So you can observe there is a gap between two graphs. When you turn it on, it will maximize the axis and there will not be any space between the two graphs. If you off it, it will give you some space between the graph. The next is axis scaling. Right now it is in manual mode. You can make it auto or after an update. If you make it auto, it will automatically adjust the axis properties. When you make it manual, you can configure the axis scaling properties. To configure it, you need to press over here configure and this will expand. From here you can configure the y-axis and from here you can configure the x-axis. Let us configure it and observe how it changes. Right now the y-axis property is set as 80% of the area will be occupied by the signal. If I make it 25% and apply, once you run it again, you will be able to see the difference. The magnitude of signal remains the same, but automatically the scaling is adjusted to so high that our signal will only occupy 25% of space into a graph. If you make it little larger, if you make it 50, run it again, then the scale will be automatically adjusted in such a way that the signal will occupy the 50% of space into the graph. The same way you can auto scale x-axis also. It is 100% right now and that is why we are getting 100% signal. If we make it 50% and apply, and then let's see what happens the next. The signal will only occupy 50% of the space horizontally. So again we'll make it 100%. Run it again. So this is how auto scaling of the axis x and y functions. The next tab is time tab. So we are going to explore it now.